As top managers, how many of you feel that your subordinates are not doing things that you intend them to do? And you have this irritating feeling of having to remind them over and over again. Now, let's call this a feeling of lack of control. I'm sure many of you would agree to this. The interesting part is we did this survey across thousands of companies, and the results are very intriguing. And I'm speaking of results across various types of organizations, from MNCs, from large corporates to small corporates, proprietary managed companies, listed companies, across variety of organizations. And there is only one conclusion that we draw from this survey. The higher up you are in the organization, more intense is this feeling of lack of control. So people think this is actually a problem of weak accountability. Now, if you see, the problem of weak accountability has been dealt in the theory of management. And the way out is to set targets, individual targets. Now, if you have individual targets, don't achieve those numbers, you can trace down the blame to an individual after the fact has happened. And if he crosses the numbers, you can give the rewards. Now, this seems on the face of it as a very nice way of ensuring accountability. The fact that we are getting these kind of survey results today shows that this clearly is not working. The theory that we can control managers by imposing targets on them was actually invented way back in 50s, and it was called management by objectives. Management by objectives or management by targets is clearly not working. So what is the problem with individual targets? There is an interesting law called the Graz Law, and it states that when any measure is converted into a target, it stops being a good measure. System tampering behavior creeps in. And many in corporate would agree to this fact. For example, if you ask a person to increase sales, he can do it as long as you are not asking about receivables. People can achieve production numbers by cherry-picking orders, the orders which are good to produce over others. Similarly, in project environments, people can meet their task duration by doing incomplete handovers. Corporate world is full of these kind of system tampering behavior. One of the ways people believe that they can solve this problem is by having many measures, many control parameters, but there's a limit to how many things that you can control and measure. We believe there is a total radical approach towards this problem, and this is what we call management by tactics. Management by tactics is a ruthless focus on the tactical how rather than what number you want to achieve. So managers are actually accountable for rapid implementation of agreed tactical steps, the improvement projects, rather than just focusing on the numbers. So let's look at an example. One of the targets that people are given usually is reduction of inventory. So you can ask somebody to reduce inventory by 30%. Now, just asking somebody to reduce inventory by 30% can lead to a lot of system tampering behavior. People can stop buying things which are selling because they are not able to deal with the non-moving inventory. So how do we approach this problem of inventories using the management by tactic approach? So the first question that we need to ask is why the inventory is high. Now, depending on our environment, it could be a function of long lead times. Now, how do you get the lead times down? Now, that opens a lot of other topics. It could open topics of standardization of parts. It could open topics of why the queuing is high in the shop floor. Now, each of these topics would trigger a lot of projects which a cross-functional team can be assigned to, and then we ensure that this project is done in the topmost speed. This is the management by tactic approach.